Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellency Sardar Salim Haider Khan Sahib, Governor Punjab and Chancellor Universities including the University of Faisalabad, Mia Muhammad Hanif Sahib, Mia Haider Amin Sahib, Mia Hamza Amin Sahib, Mia Hassan Rashid Sahib, my dear friend Professor Amanullah Malik, Rector, the University of Faisalabad, proud parents, family members of the graduates, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. I take this opportunity to add my voice to congratulate the graduates and their families for having achieved a milestone in their careers. I'd also like to compliment the University of Faisalabad, the faculty, the management, the foundation, as well as the team at large for having put together such an impressive ceremony for the graduates. Together, we are all grateful to Governor Sahib for being here with us to make this celebration worth of its existence. This is actually an opportunity for me to take advantage of presence of a huge segment of graduates, which is representing more than 50% of the population. This university has rightly taken advantage of some cultural and social niches, and that niche is the women. I'm seeing that the women component of this institution has really outperformed the men. We were discussing while presenting medals that there's one man after 10 women who receives the medal. That is also an opportunity for all of us to see the future of this country going in favor of women. And I believe that the leadership vacuum that exists in the country, that is likely to be now occupied and more wisely by the women of this country. I believe you have all the strength and the required focus that can change the face of a nation, that can make us proud not only within this system but beyond. And I would encourage the girls who have graduated and their families to let them step into the world at large and take advantage of the vacuum that exists there. I would also like to take this advantage of this opportunity for the presence of Chancellor. The sir, during last 20 plus years, the higher education landscape has changed tremendously. There were 22 public and private universities put together when the transformation at federal level from University Grants Commission to Higher Education Commission occurred. And since then, we now have more than 440 universities and degree awarding institutions in the country. Still, our youth, which was just discussed by Haider Amin, that is eligible to be part of this higher education system, the proportion remains stagnant at 12%. We give a lot of credit to private sector for filling in the vacuum. I'm seeing a lot of new charters being granted. And under your leadership, sir, we expect that the expected change would take place only if not only knowledge, but skill and the ethics are equally focused in the higher education system. And for that, you and I have certain challenges, which I would like to briefly mention. The challenge is that the higher education requires investment. It is not expenditure, it's an investment into our future. Since 2018, the higher education budget of federal HEC has been stagnant. And the provincial budgets, because of 18th Amendment, are fairly strong. We have seen some good examples, particularly in the province of Sindh. This year, the provincial contribution to universities' recurring cost is 42 billion. I've looked at also the provincial budget in Punjab, And if we look at different segments put together, it's well above 100 billion. But it is much less than what is required. That is required to meet the gap between student-teacher ratio, that we need to invest into better faculty. More PhD faculties are needed in the universities. It is also required to be made in terms of making sure that the training part of the graduates is fully focused, that we have required equipment, there is maintenance, there is international exchange taking place, that there is learning processes which are strengthened, that the universities become part of community. I was very pleased to hear yesterday we were sitting at the board of governors of this university, and we were told that this university has made significant contribution in terms of making sure that their graduates are connected to the communities in the form of social work, in the form of making sure that the training programs are embedded into the requirements of the society at large. We have also a challenge in terms of governance and the management structures of the university. So this is really high time that the universities are reimagined. And at that reimagination, there is space for legal reforms, there's space for statutory reforms, and particularly in terms of making sure that we get the highly competitive faculty in the universities. In the public sector, we were fixed with the basic pay scales. Nowhere in the world universities have basic fixed pay scales. The universities are to have competitive hiring processes, which private sector, of course, has the opportunity to do so, and exactly they are doing that. But in the public sector, we have stagnation, which is because of lack of flexibility and lack of competitive arrangements. There was an arrangement created by the name of tenure track system, which has actually flopped. And it is high time, sir, at your end, to convene a dialogue by which we could sit down and create a new competitive hiring system for the universities, so that the best of the best enter the universities and they also remain at their toes during their careers for achieving the excellence that is required. And there's no end to that. Again, coming to private sector, having set good examples, I don't say that the public sector is not performing well. The glass is off. And our effort should be to making sure that there is continuous effort to making sure that we are achieving the next higher level. There is no end to it. And being part of this system lately in my new role, I have tried to propose some reforms to the government, which includes governance reform. We have proposed a new uniform act for the universities. We have also proposed changes in the Punjab Higher Education Act so that it becomes compatible with the federal system. There are some arrangements which are to remain federal. Curriculum has to be uniform. There has to be national standards. There has to be international platforms which can only occur at the federal level. But then when it comes to implementation, to governance reforms, then the buck stops at the provincial administration. So governance reforms, and then of course sustainability element. That universities cannot always look up to the government to bail out. This private sector has set good examples, and I was pleased to hear yesterday that even in private sector, the tuition fees alone is not enough to run a vibrant system. So there are other ways to support the higher education. All over the world it is happening. And I believe that provincial government in Punjab is equally conscious of that. Under your capable leadership, sir, we are looking forward to work with you and assist you in bringing in a reimagining process of the universities and bringing in much required higher education reforms. Before I close, I would once again like to congratulate the graduates, the medal winners, the families, and the University of Faisalabad community at large for having achieved another milestone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your kind attention.